Hello everyone, my name is Jackson Vollor, and welcome to my presentation about the Metaverse. Today I will help you understand how people, businesses, and entire industries interact with technology. The Metaverse is no longer science fiction. It is becoming a real digital ecosystem where we can meet, work, learn, and play. Imagine holding business meetings on Mars, attending concerts in virtual stadiums, or shopping in 3D stores from your own living room. By the end of the presentation, you will see why decision makers need to start preparing for this technological leap. First of all, I'd like to just say, what is the Metaverse? Well, the Metaverse is a shared virtual space created by the convergence of physical and digital realities. It combines technology like AR, which is augmented reality, VR, virtual reality, blockchain, artificial intelligence, and social platforms to build immersive 3D environments. Unlike the traditional internet, where we view content, the Metaverse allows us to experience content as avatars in real time. You've probably seen early versions of this in games such like Roblox or Fortnite, which most of you know. But the Metaverse goes beyond gaming. It is a foundation for a new digital economy where users own assets, interact socially, and conduct business, all in virtual environments. A new game that's coming out in the future that I believe that the Metaverse will have a very big impact on is actually Grand Theft Auto 6. The ability to trade and do business over virtual gaming is going to be huge for this idea of Metaverse. Major players in the Metaverse. For instance, you have Meta AI, Apple, and other companies such as Microsoft, Nvidia, and much more. First, I would say Meta, formerly Facebook, invested over $36 billion into developing Metaverse platforms like Horizon Worlds and Quest headsets. Apple, for instance, you've got the Apple Vision Pro, emphasizing a spatial, I guess you could say, communication through a virtual headset. Microsoft, for instance, you've got its Metaverse vision through the mesh of Teams and HoloLens. NVIDIA's Omniverse helps create 3D simulations for engineering and design. Platforms such as Roblox, like I said, and Decentraland are early examples of user-driven virtual economies. Roblox is constantly evolving into this game with many, many different forms of metaverses, plural. We've got different games like Fortnite and, like I said, GTA that are just gonna together, these companies are laying for the groundwork for both physical and digital coexistence. Next, we've got the industries disrupted by the Metaverse. Now, this is something that we need to figure out how to evolve, because you've got the Metaverse and education, retail, healthcare, real estate, entertainment, all of these different sections of industries need to be transformed in order to coexist with, like I said, this digital and physical coexistence. Education, for instance, you've got virtual campuses like Engage that allow students from around the world to attend classes in 3D, like online, like how we have it. You've got retail, for instance. Companies like Nike or Gucci have launched digital stores and virtual fashion collections. Healthcare, for instance, surgeons use training with VR simulations that reduce errors and improve precision. You've got real estate. People can virtually walk through property tours instead of, attending in person. They can do it through VR. In entertainment, artists like Travis Scott and Ariana Grande have held concerts on the game Fortnite, reaching millions of people. The metaverse lowers physical barriers. It boosts creativity and it opens up new revenue streams. And I think that is huge. It's huge for what I believe to be a constantly expanding and evolving way of technology. Next we've got demonstrations and how it's used. In the Horizon workrooms, team members use avatars to meet in virtual boardrooms, write on whiteboards, and collaborate like they are in real life. You got Spatial IO. It lets creators host, virtual art galleries or events for remote audiences. On Roblox, I'll go back to Roblox again. Brands like Vans and Nike and Gucci have created very interactive spaces, where users can buy digital shoes of their own carbon copy IRL shoe on the game in order to wear it both in game and let's say you could have it in real life too. It allows them to kind of expand their outfit or their closet on the game itself. These platforms, they are still evolving to this day, but they are already proving that immersive digital spaces can drive engagement, innovation, and profit for these companies. The benefits and the risks. Now, this is something that I really looked into when doing this assignment. Some of the benefits, I believe it to be increased global access, to events, to learning for schools and jobs, for companies and interviews. It reduces physical costs, like office space, you don't have to worry about that, and travel, for instance. Getting to and from, spots where you can engage within the workspace or school, for instance, commuting to UNG. That's another thing. And personalized immersive experiences. That's another benefit, in my opinion. However, it does come with risk, like anything. Data privacy concerns me the most as more of our lives become digital. Digital addiction and mental health risks. Kids these days have really become attached to their video games and their laptops and their tablets and all that kind of stuff. Equity issues. Although VR and AR is very beneficial and it's very interesting and it's a very expansive way that we can use technology, it does have expensive tied to its name. It's very expensive. Like any new technology, adoption must be thought through and ethical. I think that is the biggest thing. It has to be ethical. Recommendations for decision makers, the people making this stuff. Invest in employee training for AR and VR tools and spatial commuting. Monitor hardware trends. Wait until the headsets become affordable and mainstream. Start with small experience, like hosting virtual meetings or product demos. You got to start small in this type of work. And staying informed. You have to live with the ethics on how this metaverse idea needs to be brought into this world. Has to have ethics. It has to have standards, and privacy laws are the biggest thing that concern most people. Being proactive now will prepare you or your company for a smoother, more strategic entry into the metaverse later. That's another thing. I think it's very important to, although it's kind of dicey right now, get into it and get going. To wrap things up, I would say, the metaverse, it's not a trend. I think it's something that is going to come whether or not we like it, and I think it's going to stay. These technologies behind it are already influence how we work, shop, learn, and connect. Businesses that start exploring these tools today will be in a much better position to thrive in the digital economy tomorrow. Thank you for watching. My name is Jackson, and this is my presentation on the metaverse. I hope I sparked your ideas for your organizational future and this new immersive world. Thank you.